Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Karen Liz Albert on the line, and she's owner and founder over at Behind Your Curtain. Karen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Adam. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
All right, so we have some ground to cover today. I'm excited to get into this. A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives listening to this, and we're going to cover why social media is so important for lead gen and growth for these small business owners. But before we do that, let's go a little bit further into what you're doing over at Behind Your Curtain. Tell us a little bit more about the business, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Behind Your Curtain, I started about 10 years ago. I can't believe it. It's gone by so fast. What I do is I work one-on-one with real estate professionals, authors, small business owners, entrepreneurs to help them to understand how to effectively and strategically use social media so that they no longer are mistaking activity for progress, which we tend to do on social media, and help them actually generate some leads and see some return on their efforts so they're able to connect with 100% of the people that have a demand for what it is that they have to offer, and then actually converting them into customers.
And I love that, and I think that's a great transition. So let's just dive right into today's topic. So why small business owners really need social media for lead gen and growth? So I think a lot of people at one point thought, and maybe still do, listening to this, depends on what camp you're in, think that social media is just there for to play on or this that. They don't necessarily take it serious yet for their business. I mean, where do you want to start this topic? It's a big one.
It is a big one. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'll start with, let's just look at, and I'm sure you can relate to this for sure, Adam. I mean, let's just look at marketing 101, right? If we kind of take a step back and eliminate even social media platforms for a moment, we know that the most effective marketing campaigns are ones that have been crafted to address the need of a very specific type of consumer. And so a lot of the clients that I work with, their biggest challenge, and one of the reasons why they're not really seeing any return on their efforts when it comes to social media marketing, is because they're kind of trying to be everything to everybody, and that just doesn't work. And it doesn't work, for one, coming from a sort of traditional marketing perspective, right? Marketing 101, but it also doesn't work because that's not how the social media platforms are written. So, I'm sure you've heard of the infamous algorithm that is written and is running behind the scenes. And when the algorithm actually starts to become your friend, as opposed to the not so friendly because it's not letting anybody see your content, which is the problem most of the business owners that I work with have when they hire me. So to get the algorithm to start to actually become an extension of your marketing team, you have to be really clear on the who, because that's how the algorithm is written. Facebook, for example, its number one priority is to make sure that it keeps the Facebook user community happy. It actually really doesn't even care about the business pages at all. And so in an effort to keep the user community happy, the algorithm is monitoring the behavior and activity of every single user, and it's monitoring the activity so that it can start to get a sense of what is it that makes that particular user happy. And it knows that based on the user's activity of the pages it likes, the posts it likes, and comments and shares. So over time, it can start to sort of get a sense of, okay, I get a sense of what this particular individual Facebook user likes and what feels like it adds value to their user experience. And so, the analogy I use is Sally, the Facebook user who loves watching the cute puppy videos, right? So the algorithm's like, great, I know exactly what Sally likes. So then the algorithm goes and scans the millions of business pages that are out there looking for business pages that produce cute puppy videos so that it can then organically start to show more of the cute puppy videos to Sally. And you may have experienced this yourself, Adam, where you've been on Facebook and all of a sudden there's posts showing up on your personal news feed from pages that you didn't even know about. And this even cascades outside of Facebook. So you go surfing Google for a new pair of shoes, and then guess what shows up on your newsfeed? So there's a lot of money that is being invested by these social media platforms to do data mining and analytics and profiling. And so when you get really clear on who it is that you want to put your marketing message in front of, that's when you start to see the leverage of the algorithm work for you. And so when you can kind of, you've probably heard the riches and the niches, right? It's kind of true from the marketing side, but it's really true when you want to look at how can you effectively use these social media platforms. And so that's kind of always step one, is helping them to understand. I'm not just saying let's get clear on your niche or your ideal market just because we want to write some campaigns. That's actually what you need to do in order to see some return on the efforts when you're using these social media platforms. And it's incredibly powerful if you can really feed the algorithm, quote unquote, with being really clear on who you want this content to show up in front of, and you're catering your content to that who. That's when you're really going to start to see the benefit of it. I had a chiropractor that hired me years ago back in Los Angeles that was really struggling with social media. And so, my first question, I asked him, who's your ideal niche market? And he looked at me like I was crazy, like, hello, spine, neck, back, everybody, right? So I said, okay, well, that's probably why his social media isn't really working for you. So we actually spent some time looking at his existing customers, and we discovered that he had been treating women between the ages of 55 and 75 that were suffering from fibromyalgia. So that's a niche right there. So what he did is he put together a $100 unlimited treatment package. I use the top social media platforms to get in front of that demographic, because that's the who, right? We crafted the message to speak to their pain and problem, drove traffic to his landing page, and then he tripled his business in 90 days. And I didn't take away from him marketing to everybody, but what I helped him do is get really clear on where is there a demand for what it is that you have to offer. And then look at these social media platforms as just marketing tools, but you have to know how to use them. Right.
That's it. It makes so much sense. And let's go a little bit further down the line of platform, because I feel like people get pretty hung up on this one. And, I have my biases and I have my thoughts on it, but I want to hear from you. Talk a little bit more about platforms and how small business owners should approach that with new platforms coming online every day, basically. What should they be thinking about?
Yeah, it's a great question. I get that all the time, but it's also a great segue off into answering that based on what I was just saying, is because it always comes down to understanding who is the demographic that you want to get in front of, because they don't live on every single platform. So if you get really clear on the who, then we look at, okay, based on now we know who we want to really target, now I'm going to tell you which social media platforms are going to be the most effective. So in general, right, rule of thumb, if you are really the majority, the masses of consumers, you can pretty much find them on Facebook, hands down. The time that you possibly wouldn't want to look at using Facebook is if you're really targeting business professionals. So, I had a lady that wanted to hire me to help her build up her Facebook community and profile and get more engagement, but she sells equipment to doctors. So I said, I'm not going to take your money to get you on Facebook, because they're not there. That's not where you want to target them. Let's go look at LinkedIn, because that's where your demographic lives. So you really kind of want to take that first step and look at the who, and then identify where's going to be, the most effective place for you to put your efforts in front of. Instagram is a very powerful platform as well. Facebook owns it. So 90% of the time, the demographic that you're trying to target in Facebook, you'll also be able to get in front of on Instagram as well. When it comes to Twitter, Twitter is a tool that I don't recommend to the traditional business owner unless they are very interested in getting in front of a male-dominant population, a sports interested dominated demographic, if they are interested in tapping into the media and they really want to start getting the attention of media sources. there's a very specific strategy when it comes to Twitter, and a lot of business owners feel like they need to just be out there tweeting just to tweet, but it sort of becomes an effort in futility because you need to really know who is the audience that's very dominant and powerful on the Twitter platform. And then LinkedIn, like I was saying, that's really, if you're targeting professionals, hands down, you want to be on there. But even the companies that are targeting the business to consumer, so even the moms or the seniors or the young millennials, you can still use LinkedIn with a strategy of maybe not connecting to the direct consumer, but think about who are the other businesses that may cater to that demographic and use that as an opportunity and a platform to connect with those other professionals that could then potentially become lead generation sources for you. And then YouTube. The time that I really recommend YouTube, it's okay to have a YouTube channel if you want to have videos and store them on there and maybe drive traffic as a storage place for video. But, you know, people go on YouTube for two primary reasons. One is they want to learn how to do something, or they want to be entertained. And unless you're pumping out a whole lot of content that falls into either one of those categories, you're not really ever going to rank to the extent that one needs to really see some return on your efforts and investments on that. And of course, everything that I'm saying, I want to preface with, this is all 100% organic. So I'm not into the paid side. So I help create the strategies to craft the strategies to help the business owners understand how to organically get the connections and the reach and the engagement and leads.
That's awesome. So, Karen, if somebody's listening to this, so final question, two-part question. If somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about Behind Your Curtain, so first thing, what's the right type of business and or niche, or just in general, what's the right fit usually to work with you and your team at Behind Your Curtain? So question number one. Question number two, what's the best way for those individuals and companies to connect with you?
Yeah, thank you. So I specialize in working with real estate agents and authors. Those are my two primary niches. But 20% of my customers don't fall into either one of those. So small business owners, the entrepreneurs, the ones that maybe are, 5 employees or less, and still have the opportunity and sort of creative freedom, if you will, to be able to craft and create their own marketing strategies. And how they can connect with me if they're interested, behindyourcurtain.com. There is right there on the homepage, there is a opportunity for them to schedule a free consultation call with me. So it's behindyourcurtain.com.
Fantastic. Well, Karen, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background, all the great work you're doing over at Behind Your Curtain to help our small business owners out there. So great work there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave some comments on the video. I'd love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Karen, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate it.